Hello and welcome to Starcraft. It's Pig here with yet another video helping you learn and improve at versus mode. Today we're going to be looking at a beginner Protoss build order. The aim today is to show you how to build up an economy nice and quickly, get the production up so you can then of course turn that economy into a large army, and from there play the game in your own way. I want to leave this build order open-ended, and the whole point of this is Starcraft's a strategy game, and I don't want to be giving you a resource which forces you into one specific playstyle. I'm going to be showing you how to kind of build up with Adept to Mortal here, but you can very easily just take the same sort of amount of production that goes down, the same gateways, how to build the economy, and you can change up the units. You could go Stalkers and Colossi instead. You could build Stargate units. So feel free to be flexible with this. Just use this as sort of a nice tool to ground yourself, to build your economy in that first 4 or 5 minutes, and it allows you to kind of have I guess just like a nice checklist while you're getting used to the basics of building economy and kind of spending your money and that sort of thing. So I am going to be showing you guys how to do this live. Watch along with me and let's hop into game. Alright, here we go. We're going to be launching into this beginner Protoss build. I'm going to talk you guys through it as we do it live. Now, you are going to start up probe production as your very first thing here, and you're immediately going to queue up 2 probes. Your first probe rallies down to your expansion. Right after he pops out, we change the rally point back to the minerals, and we put down a pylon with the power field just touching the edges. This is so we can create a nice wall off. It's going to keep us very safe. Very important against Zerg opponents, but you can still use this against Terran and Protoss. So it's a good way to start off the game, is just get used to always building a wall. Now after we put down that pylon, on 14 we queue up 2 more probes. And as that pylon finishes, we drop a chrono boost on our Nexus, and we then build a gateway. Send that probe across the map to scout, and as this probe pops out, 17 supply, put down a gas. Alright, very nice. So the probe that we sent across the map to scout, we're going to say use our shift command. We're going to say do a loop around the main base and then hide behind the natural expansion. We'll talk about why we need to scout, why we need to leave it over there a little bit later. For now, just know that there are some rushes that you'll encounter as you're playing the ladder, and you'll naturally kind of learn how to scout those and react them. And we'll cover a little bit of that in some later videos as well. For now, just know that you kind of send him over there and then leave him behind the expansion. Of course, we've put guys on gas. As soon as that's finished, let's immediately put down, send a worker down to our expansion. You want to stop here on 20 supply and immediately build a Nexus and then a Cybernetics core. So that Nexus could have gone down a few seconds faster there. Once you've done that, you want to restart probe production. So I'm starting up more probes now. And you want to put down a pylon here on 21 or 22 supply as well. Now notice my main base, 17 out of 16 workers, so we've got plenty of workers, so let's rally both down to the expansion. And this probe's just going to hide there. We're waiting now for the Cybernetics core to finish. In the meantime, what are we doing, guys? We're just queuing up probes. We're waiting, and as soon as that's finished, we're going to build a Stalker, and we're going to start Warp Gate research. So Stalker, Warp Gate research, and we're going to chrono boost both of those. Fantastic. All right, here's a good moment to take a break and talk about this wall off. People are always asking me, is the wall off necessary, and do we need to get it every game? Sometimes players also complain they lose the buildings in the wall because they're so exposed and they don't like that. The reason we like to do this by default is because Zerg are capable of doing a thing called the Zerg Rush, where they build a lot of cheap, fast units, they run into your base and they kill you. It's one of the most frustrating things to experience, especially as a Protoss player, because you're the opposite of Zerg. Rather than having lots of cheap, expendable units, you've got generally slower units and a lot less of them, but they're much more powerful, especially when you let them grow into large numbers where they all support each other. At the beginning of the game, though, you've only got a few of these units, and if they just get surrounded and isolated, they go down very fast. So it's important to have a wall off to stop your opponent getting in your base too quickly, and this is often the difference between winning and losing against Zerg, and once you get a good wall off, it can really just skyrocket your win rate. Now, if you don't like the wall off against Terran and Protoss, you find it a bit frustrating to kind of get in and out of your base, that's fine, you can totally skip it. Just put the buildings in your main base instead, and it'll be totally fine. All right, let's hop back into game now and continue with this build order. Next up is going to be a robotics. So we want to build a robotics. We're going to build it back here in the main where it's nice and very protected. There we go. And let's queue up an adept after this stalker as well. So trying to build an adept here. We don't have the money just yet, but we will in a moment. And I can even get rid of that scout from my base. Now notice I left a little gap here between these two buildings. That's going to be our choke point. We want to chrono boost our natural, start building plenty of probes out of there, queue up another adept as well. And so to do with this probe, basically if you want to see if there's an expansion. If there's no expansion by 3 minutes 30, you want to kind of build some extra gateways and fighting units. But otherwise, you're just going to kind of continue as always on your normal path. And then here, we build an observer, and we rally that across the map. We even chrono boost it. That's going to give us great vision of what's going on. And at 40 supply, or if you get the money earlier, that's okay. You can go for it earlier. We drop 2 more gateways, and then a pylon. We queue up another adept here. And pylon time. You can see I'm getting close to supply blocked. So, no reason not to put down another pylon. And hey, notice how we are at 45 supply. So 45 supply, around the time this natural expansion's almost full of workers, we take every remaining gas across our bases. And that's going to allow us to get some really nice gas income going. After that first observer, we can start chrono boosting out some immortals as well. Start putting guys on gas on all of these. And you'll notice warp gate research is done. So we can turn those gateways into warp gates. And the observer can kind of keep tabs of your opponent's army. See if you need to worry about an attack coming out. So we can build that Twilight Council now. And notice I am close to being supply blocked, so I'm going to build a few more.
Glory to the Daylong.
A few more pylons. And you'll naturally find yourself starting to float a lot of money at some point around here. So as you get that money, you can build these gateways in increments, but you want to work your way steadily up to 10 gateways. So you want to add 6 more gateways on top of the 6 or 7 on top of the 3 that you already had. So we'll keep building immortals. Notice how I've got pretty much enough probes here. I'm just going to build 1 or 2 more. This base has got plenty. And at that point, we're going to stop building probes. Now let's get the Resonating Glaives upgrade. That's going to make our adepts way better at fighting. We're going to make 1 sentry for Guardian Shield with our army. Very simple spell. You just cast it and it gives a nice force field that adds bonus armor to your units against ranged attacks. Let's add some more gateways. So there we go. Gonna add a few more gateways here. And a few more pylons. At this point, we stop probe production completely. And we're nearing the end of the build order, guys. And this is a fantastic moment to kind of recap where we're at. There's 1,000 different ways to play Starcraft. There's no right way. But this is just a very solid opening build order. What's the goal? You've got 2 bases up full of workers really quickly. So you've built a fast economy. You've got some generic units that keep you safe against most situations. And from here, you can do whatever you want. So you could go for a big attack from here, maybe even making a warp prism to reinforce across this map and just make a ton of adepts and go kill your opponent. You could take a 3rd base, you could add upgrades, go into your Colossus or go into Psystorm or something like that. It's all open to you, but this build order is going to give you a nice springboard so that the start of the game is kind of you getting into a good position, a nice economy, a big army. From there, you can choose exactly which style you want to play. Alright, well that about rounds us up for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Now remember, this is just a beginning guide. It's not really a holistic thing that covers all of the strategy of Starcraft. Starcraft's such a vast game, so if you find yourself wanting more information, definitely to put this all in context and to start to understand the bigger picture, check out the entire Welcome to Starcraft playlist here on YouTube, and hop over to my Twitch channel, watch me stream live and explain my gameplay, and answer your questions there at twitch.tv/x5_pig. That's all for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.